So I hope that you have answered all the 10 questions within 15 minutes. You can see the questions on board. Okay, so the first question is, at T equal to 300 Kelvin, the whole mobility of a semiconductor mu P equal to 500 centimeter square per volt second and Kt by Q equal to 26 millivolt. The whole diffusion constant dP in centimeter squares is dash. Okay, so in order to have the answer of this, in order to find the diffusion constant, you should use a relation dP by mu P equal to Kt by Q. So here Kt by Q is given, mu P is given. So just cross multiply and find the value of dP. dP will be equal to 26 millivolt into 500 centimeter square volt second. Okay, so the answer getting is 13 centimeter square per second is the diffusion constant, and the correct answer is option C is the correct answer, 13 centimeter square per second. Okay, so the relation you require is the relation between thermal voltage and diffusion constant. It is called Einstein's relation. dP by mu P equal to Kt by Q, or equal to Kt by Q is equal to thermal voltage. So dP by mu P equal to Vt. Next question you can see on board. An analog voltage in the range of 0 to 8 volt is divided in equal intervals for conversion of 4-bit digital output. The maximum quantization error in volt is dash. So the maximum quantization error is given by plus or minus delta by 2, where delta is the quantization step size. Okay, so in order to find the quantization step size, delta is equal to V max minus V minimum by number of levels. Okay, what is the V max? The range is from 0 to 8. So 8 minus 0. Max is 8, minimum is 0. Number of levels is 16, right? So it is 8 minus 5 by 16. And the value obtaining is 0.5. Okay, delta is 0.5. We don't need delta, we need quantization error. So the quantization error is plus or minus 0.5 by 2, which is equal to 0.25 volt. Okay, correct answer is option B is the correct answer. We don't need plus or minus, just write 0.25 volt is the maximum quantization error. Correct answer is option B. It's a theory question. You can see the question on board. A thin p-type silicon sample is uniformly illuminated with light which generate excess carriers. The recombination rate is directly proportional to dash. A. Minority carrier mobility. B. Minority carrier recombination lifetime. C. Majority carrier concentration. D. Excess minority carrier concentration. So here the minority carriers are generated, right? So the recombination rate is directly proportional to the excess minority carrier concentration. Okay. Due to this, recombination is actually happening. So the correct answer is option D. Next question, you can see on board. In MOSFET fabrication, the channel length is defined during the process of dash. A. Isolation oxide growth? No. B. Channel stop implantation? No. C. Polysilicon gate patterning? Yeah. During the polysilicon gate patterning, the channel length is actually defined. Okay. Last one, lithography step leading to the contact pad. No, it is directly given that lithography is actually used for contact pad generation. Okay, so correct answer here is option C. During the polysilicon gate patterning, we define the channel length. Next question is from network analysis. It is Y to delta conversion. Actually, we have done video on Y to delta conversion. Actually, I think during question paper discussion we have discussed that also. For Y network shown in figure, you can see the Y network. The value of R1 in the equivalent delta network is dash. Okay, you need to find what is the value of R1. They have also given the delta network in a gray color. You can see it. So how will be the value for R1 in the corresponding delta network? So finding R1 is R1 equal to, just take the product of the adjacent branches and divide it by the opposite branch. So that is a concept. So here in a delta, there are 3 resistors like this, right? So you have to take the product of this and then this and then this. and then R1 is here, right? So take the, that is divide these product term with this. We want to find the value of R1 here. So the opposite one is here. So divide by this resistor. Okay, we'll find it. I'm going to write 5 ohm here, then 3 ohm here, then 7.5 ohm here. So R1 equal to 7.5 into 5 here plus 3 into 5 product of these two plus 7.5 into 3 by 7.5. Okay, correct answer is 10 ohms. Okay, so this is delta to Y conversion. So this is the Y, and we'll be forming a delta like this. Okay, so similarly we have found R1. Similarly we can find this resistor, whatever it be, let it be R2. We can find R2, and let this be R3. We can find R3 also. Okay, so take the product of this and then sum this products of this and this. Sum all these products, divide by the opposite one. Okay, correct answer here is option B. Number 6, you have to identify the circuit actually. The circuit shown in figure is a dash. A, toggle flip-flop. B, JK flip-flop. C, SR latch. D, master slave D flip-flop. Okay, so this is actually a master slave D flip-flop. The first one acts as a master, second one acts as a slave. So the latches are constructed using flip-flop. Okay, so this is not a latch, this is a flip-flop. And latches are level triggered, and when we cascade two latches, we'll be getting a that is, here we have cascaded two latches and we have made a master slave D flip-flop. D latch and D latch, we made a master slave D flip-flop. The first one acts as a master, second one acts as a slave. Okay, correct answer is option D. Master slave D flip-flop. Next question is from EMT. Consider an air-filled rectangular waveguide with a cross section of 5 cm cross, 5 cm by 3 cm. For this waveguide, the cutoff frequency of TE21 mode. TE21 means M equal to 2, N equal to 1. So you should be identifying these things as fast as possible. Just apply the equation for cutoff frequency directly. A and B is given. A equal to 5 cm, B equal to 3 cm. In that equation for cutoff frequency, apply these values and find the value of cutoff frequency. Okay. So I'm going to apply the equation here. Cutoff frequency Fc is equal to C by 2. C is 3 into 10 raised to 8 by 2. Then square root of M by A. M is 2. So it is 2 by cutoff frequency. I'll write first the general equation. Okay. So in order to avoid confusion, I'll write the equation. M by A square plus N by B square. Okay, so this is the relation. You have to put the values for A, B, M and N. Okay, C is not. So I have substituted already here. C is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second by 2. Okay, so convert the centimeters to meters. Okay, so M by A, M is 2, A is 0.05. Then square plus N is 1. Yeah, 1 by B is 3 centimeter, 0.03 square. Okay, so this is a general equation. Note it down if you don't know. Fc is equal to C by 2 square root of M by A square plus N by B square. Okay, then you have to solve this, and while solving it you will be getting 7810 megahertz. Okay, so that is the frequency, cutoff frequency. Correct answer is option C. Next question is from digital electronics. You can see the question on board. Consider the MUX multiplexer based logic circuit shown in figure. Which one of the Boolean expression is realized here? Okay, so you can see the figure. So the first MUX, there is a select line S1, there is a W. So this MUX, yeah, this MUX is 0 here and 1 is here, and there is a note. So what will be the output? When S1 is 0, so that is S1 bar, it will be selecting W. Then plus when S1 is used or S1 is 1, it will be selecting W bar. Very simple. W is connected to 0 line, W bar is connected to line 1. So S1 is 0 means it will select W directly. When S1 is used or S1 is equal to 1, it will be selecting the complement, right? So this is the expression. This is nothing but S1 XOR W. Next, similarly, we have connected this output in the same way to the second multiplexer also. I'm going to take it as a second multiplexer. Not 0 and 1 and then S2, right? Similar way. So this is nothing but a XOR operation of, consider the output of the first mux is Y. Y is getting XORed with S2. So this is the, for the first mux, right? For the second mux, same operation as the first mux. See the connections. But here the variable is Y. Y XOR S2, right? That is the output expression for the second mux. Now what is Y? Y, we have written it here. Y is nothing but S1 XOR W. So just replace it. S1 XOR W. Yeah. So the expression is S1 XOR W XOR S2, or you can rearrange it as W XOR S1 XOR S2. This is given in the option. So the correct answer here is option D. Okay, I hope it is clear. See, here for the first mux, when S1 is 0, we will get W. When S1 is 1, we will get W bar. Similarly, for S2, consider the output of first mux is Y. When S1 is 0, we will get Y. When S1 is 1, we will get Y bar. Okay. So the correct answer is option D. The next question is from microcontrollers. 8051 series has how many 16-bit registers? A2. You can see the question on board. B3, C1, D0. Correct answer is 2. There are two 16-bit registers which are DPTR and program counter. Okay. Correct answer is option A, which is 2. Next question you can see on board. How many bytes of bit addressable memory is present in 8051 based microcontrollers? A 8 byte, B 32 byte, C 16 byte, D 128 byte. Correct answer is option C. 8051 microcontroller has 16 bytes of bit addressable memory. Okay, correct answer is option C. So these are the 10 questions which we have included in this video. I really hope that you found this video useful. If yes, please do give it a thumbs up and share these videos maximum. And if you want more videos, please do subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and keep on watching.